All right, so it's a triple award-winning show, not for the radio, NFTR, #1 interview platform in UK black music right now. And I'm joined by two ladies that must have been aired on Valentine's Day. So they're here with me right now, Romeo.
Valentine's Day ain't over yet, though.
That's true.
It's
That's true.
afternoon.
There's still time for you. We'll get into that. So I'm joined by Shams, obviously, and special guest Nole in the building.
Hello.
Mental. Welcome along, man.
Thank you.
It's been a while since I last spoken to you.
Yeah.
And I think a lot's happened since. I don't even know when to start, where to start.
I know.
I'll be honest, like, you've achieved a lot. You've been through a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of ups and downs
A lot of ups and downs.
in the public eye as well, which can't be easy.
Yeah.
Should we take it back to the beginning, though? Where you from? I mean, the first time I saw you, or one of the first times I saw you, one of the standout moments was Unorthodox.
Yeah.
No help.
No help, no handouts.
And you
yeah.
just absolutely buried that. You was going on Savage before anyone was even calling anything Savage.
Yeah.
So let's talk about
when
those.
swaggish was a bad word.
Okay.
When swag was, that's swag. Like, it meant rubbish, basically. But,
So do you miss those days? Talk to us about those days and how you linked up with Unorthodox and how it came about.
I do miss those days and I don't miss those days only because of how much I've grown as a woman since then. But I mean, if we start right from the beginning of how that started, it goes back to working with your brother.
Come on.
Eastwood, yeah, long time. Like, he put me on my first ever dub. Where he used to have like a massive call it massive. Listen to how old school I called Too Good to Be True.
Yeah.
So basically, he got me on a tune, and then some guy heard me called Crafty. Should have known by the name. Yeah.
Okay.
So some guy heard me called Crafty, and he said that he wants to take me to meet someone called Ben Palmer.
Yeah. Big up Ben.
At Polydor. I think Ben has PMRC. I think that's what it's called now.
He's doing big things right now.
Yeah. So he took me to meet Ben Palmer, and at that time, I think Shiesty was also being pitched to him as well, because it's around the times when Shiesty signed to Polydor as well.
Yeah.
And Ben used to move heavily with a guy called Biggs from Shepherd's Bush.
Yeah.
And Silver and G-Kid.
Yeah. Big up Silver,
And
G-Kid, of course.
so he basically, Ben had my music and he was going to give us like a 50 grand like advance kind of thing. But I noticed that Crafty was just trying to get me, like signed really quickly, like to take her kind of thing.
Okay.
And I was a bit like uncomfortable about that. Like, I just felt
What made
like,
you uncomfortable? Did you feel like you was worth
was
more
really-
money, or you just felt like you was a bit in the dark?
I was really new to it as well.
Yeah.
Like, I was new to it, and I was new to it. Like, it was fresh, man, and everything was happening so quickly. But anyway, so met with Ben Palmer, and he took me. He had played my music to Biggs, that was our manager at the time, Unorthodox, and he was like, "No, I don't want you to sign. Like, I want her to join Unorthodox. I want them to do this independent thing." So anyway, Ben took me to go and meet them in Shepherd's Bush at Biggs' flat. Was it at Biggs' flat? No, it was at Ben's house in Hammersmith.
Yeah.
And Silver and G-Kid was there, and they just spat to me and I spat, and then we just formed the clique. I didn't like No Help, No Handouts at first, the beat.
You mad? That like seriously cut through.
I didn't want to do it.
I think that's set.
Silver
was
made
one of
me
the
do
tracks
it.
that
Well,
set
no
pace.
one can make me do anything, but he was like, "Come on, man, like, do it, man," kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
do the track. And I was like, I don't like the beat, man. For
Yeah.
me, it doesn't even sound like grime.
That's a point. I think the track was before its time. I think that
It
track was
sounds
before its
more,
time.
yeah, it was a lot before. I can't exactly establish what kind of sound I think it's like, but it seemed like more trappy to me than anything else. But then
Yeah.
trap weren't even really about those times. But
Yeah.
for me, it weren't grime. I didn't class it as grime.
Yeah, without sounding sexist, like,
Yeah.
I think at that age,
Yeah.
a lot of young girls would have been doing different things.
Yeah.
How would you describe yourself at that age? Would you describe yourself kind of like as a tomboy?
A real tomboy.
Yeah?
Yeah, because a lot of the girls, they didn't want to do that.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
they didn't want to rap, they didn't want to spit, they didn't have any interest in stuff like that. Whereas in all the guys, enough of them was on that.
Yeah,
so that's
yeah,
why I
yeah.
had to be around man them because, you know, I mean, I didn't even call myself Nole at first. I was called Vibes.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Sounds like a girl. I think someone girl.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
and the way I used to like spit my lyrics is more in the garage kind of, you know, like
Yeah.
goodness gracious, me, like that kind of.
Yeah,
and then,
yeah, yeah.
and then I remember I met with a guy called Coxon from Peckham, and I used to link up with him. And one time he goes to me, like I went to his flat in Peckham with my friend Gemma at the time, and he said to me, look, like, why don't you more like say your lyrics? And I was like, what do you mean say my lyrics? He's like, rather than like sing them,
Yeah.
why don't you say them? And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you know, like how a brother would say the
Yeah.
and then I just started to spit them more rather than like kind of do like the whole singing thing. He actually said to me like a while ago that at that time, he said to me when one time he DM'd me, like this was few years after, and he goes, you know that day when you came and you was doing all, like I was telling, because he said
Yeah.
to me as well, fuck the name Vibes, man, it's awful.
It's long.
He goes, you know, like not on a long thing, like no lele. And I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, he goes, you're not on a lele, man. Call yourself Nole, kind of thing. So I was like, oh, it's got a ring to it. All right. But he said to me that Giggs was sitting in the front room while I was in the back room thingying with him. So it was actually someone from Peckham that gave me my
You
name.
say thingy in with him. I think you need to clarify this.
Yeah, you
The
need to
audience
clarify
are
that.
wild on those comments.
Huh?
You said thingy in with him. You better clarify
What
that.
was you
'cause
doing in the
audience
front
Oh,
is
I
room?
wild.
don't care what they think.
Oh, you meant that.
No, I didn't mean that. But all right, but I think you need to have sense though. When I was writing with him, innit?
Yeah,
Not
okay.
thingy him because I know he's
but
his
things
gal
can-
at the
thi-
time. Do you know what I'm saying?
Things
But
can get misconstrued.
yeah,
so
yeah. No,
Sham-
I'll let you know if I mean that because I'll say the actual word. But
I mean, you've achieved. We're gonna get into more achievements, yeah. But one
Yeah.
thing, you haven't been that consistent.
no.
You haven't been that consistent. So, with that being said, do you still think you are the best? Let's say female MC to start with.
I think I'm one of the best. Full stop.
You think you want to?
And
But
that's why I say
are you
that.
the
Shall I-
best?
Shall,
are you-
shall I
yeah, go
tell
on.
you why I say that?
Yeah.
Because I feel like females are pigeonholed a lot, and they are set against each other. If that makes
Yeah,
any
yeah.
sense, like they pit us against each other.
Mm.
Why is it a thing where there can only be one female spitter?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, would you say that you're the best female? You don't get that with the males. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like you get it with it. You know, like sometimes I'll do an interview and they're like, what do you think of this girl? And what do you think of that girl? And do you know what I'm saying? And it's almost like they're trying to get something out of me for me to say something.
I don't agree with it either. And also,
Yeah.
just to go back to what may have come across sexist, I'm not
Yeah.
saying
Not you,
have,
I'm not
you have
saying
to be
you,
a tomboy
'cause no,
to rap.
no, no,
Do you
no,
get
I
I'm
know what
saying?
you meant,
But I'm just
but
saying
I'm
you came
saying-
across like a tomboy.
Yeah, because I was.
Yeah, okay,
And I still
yeah.
am.
All right,
A
all right.
tomboy in some nice clothes and
also,
makeup.
also why some kind of like journalists or presenters or DJ may like pigeonhole women within one category is because there's certain things that only women can rap about. And there's only certain.
Do you believe that though?
Yeah, of course, because a man can't rap about certain things a woman can.
Okay,
Yeah,
but a
because
woman
you-
can rap about anything, and I think that this is because I saw you actually. You was.
I know, but a man can't rap about being a woman.
I know, but you see, like what
But
would
a
happen?
woman can't rap about being a man.
Exactly. So that's why sometimes they say, "Are you the best female rapper?"
Okay, but it should be based on, I guess, on their delivery and the way they put their content across. Rather, it's like when someone says you're pretty for a black girl or something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
like it's like a backhanded compliment for them to say,
yeah,
you know, you're a sick MC
And I feel like
for a
they
woman.
do that as well in a kind of way too, because I know I've got like this stigma around me and that I'd like to make clear right now, where people be like, you know, people have come back to me and said, oh yeah, but you know, Nole, she doesn't like doing, like she don't like working with the females and she don't like whatever it is they have to say. It's not even that. I have a problem when there's a male version to a tune and a male will call me up and say to me, I got this tune, yeah? And they get you bare excited and then they say, I got a female version. I feel like to be a powerful woman, you have to look at yourself as an equal, firstly.
Yeah, that was a
I
trend.
feel
That female remix was a trend.
I feel
for a
like
while.
you fall into the pigeonhole. You can't turn around and say, oh, do you know what? I'm strong, I'm powerful and all the rest of it. But then you fall into the pigeonhole that people are giving to you, what they're
Yeah.
passing to you. Now, if you've got a song and it's got male and females on it, I don't have a problem with doing it. But why is it like that all the time? There has to be a female version and there has to be a male version. And I feel like a lot of the guys do it because you feel like you're going to get outshined on your tune.
Okay.
So it's a safety thing for them, like to keep themselves safe.
Was there any specific times that this happened? Like, was there any specific tracks?
I think one track, Gets called me up one time and he asked me, because he knows that I've got this stigma around me as well, because he said, you know, like when I spoke to the girls, like they said straight away that you're not gonna do it, Nole. And I goes, but because they know why. Because I've said it so many times on radio, because he's like, I got this tune, you know, I got this mixtape and I've got, I think he said Chipmunk, Kano, Wiley. He reeled off bare names. And you know when you're getting excited, like, and I'm thinking, yeah, he's going to put me on the song. And he goes, and then I've got like this other tune, you know, like, and I've got, what did he say? I think he said Lioness, who I think is sick. Do you know what I'm saying? Me and Lioness have worked before. She hollered me afterwards. She goes, did you know I was going to be there? And I goes to her, no. I said, did you know I was going to be there? She goes, no. I said, they tried to set us up because they thought we weren't going to do it. But anyway, back to the Get situation. He was like, yeah, like I got this song. And I said to he goes, it's what the consumer wants to hear. And I said to him, like, for me, that was puzzling. I goes, it's what the consumer wants to hear. How do you know the consumer doesn't want to hear a tune with all of us just going ham? Girls and boys.
Yeah,
Kano, Wiley, Gets, Nole, Lioness, Leisha, whoever else.
I think sometimes, I agree. Can I just say something? Like, I agree with that. Like, the overall kind of, the overall conversation should never be male or female. It should just be who the best.
And it is
but at the
always
same time, it is like a sub-conversation sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, do you get what I mean? And I think there has been,
But I think
it is kind of a fun thing to do to say, let's do a female version.
Yeah, but
no,
when
it's
you get what I mean?
boring. It's boring and it's trash.
Oh, it
to
has
me.
been.
That's how I feel. I feel like
Mad.
it's. Let me explain.
I've never
to
put
you.
one together anyway, so I don't
Like,
care.
do
but
you know why I
can
feel- do you know
understand
why
why
I-
some producers might have thought it's a good idea.
Yeah, I know. And do you know why they do it as well? Sometimes it's in a way to say like, well, women ain't that powerful. So let's just
Is
give
that
them.
too deep,
let's
though?
give them. No, it is. Listen, how more time the person behind a female all-star track is a male. More time.
Oh, shit.
It's a male.
Oh, shit.
she
that
came
way.
to snatch wigs.
Yeah, that way.
Like,
Okay.
it's just.
I think that it is an important conversation because again, it's the same thing as if someone said to you, because people often say to you, you know, you're sick for a female rapper or you're sick for, but you
does
are
my
sick.
brain work like? Does my brain not function the same as a male? Then does it? Do you know what I'm saying? It's
So
like,
it kind of relegates you from the opportunity to stand up against the males and say, actually, I could murk all of these guys on a track if this was the case.
The first
but
time
I'm not.
I ever got noticed, like because when you first come into like grime, or when I first came into grime, the big thing was us is getting a wheel up. Even when you hear like you see like the new MCs coming in, and like, yeah, I got my wheel up, and I remember it was at Sidewinder, and Cameo was on the decks, and it was Crazy Titch and Gets on stage. And a couple people was like, go on, kind of thing. So Unorthodox was there as well. Not Silver weren't there, G-Kid was there. So I jumped up on stage and Crazy Titch kept passing the mic past me. You know, like over me kind of thing, like to Gets. And they kept doing it and doing it and doing it. I'm standing there, I'm just laughing because I know why you don't want to give me the mic, because you know what time it is. But anyway, Gets gave me the mic, innit? So that's why I can never knock him. Other than that, I do have a lot of love for Gets. Yeah, he passed me the mic,
And that was it. You got your
and
wheel
I
up.
just tore it, and then like like.
No,
I've
but
still got the
Titch
audio-
might not
I've
have
still-
recognised you.
No,
like
he
how-
knew who I was. Trust
Okay,
me.
say no more.
Oh, wow.
I've had couple like things with Titch.
Cool.
It's all
right,
love
cool.
though.
No more female remixes and no more kind of conversations about are you the best female MC? Say no more.
like, because
But that being said, Shams, I think you're the best female presenter in the game right
yeah,
now.
so do I.
Oh, don't
Yeah.
get
I think you're what? No, I think you're one of the best presenters in the game
Okay,
right now.
so are you
There you go.
top? Are you
Okay,
top
thank you,
5?
Nole.
Are you top 5 in the UK?
I feel like I'm top 5 in the UK, and let me explain why I feel like I'm top 5 in the UK. I feel like everybody that does something, whether you're a journalist, whether you're a blogger, whether you're a presenter, whether you just make beats, photographer, whatever, you should feel like you're the best. And it's not like the best as in to blow your trumpet, I'm the best. But if you don't believe in yourself, who's going to believe in you? And I believe in myself very strongly. I believe in myself.
For real, I think you got the history. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? You've put out good music. I think you've done the videos. You've done your back-to-backs live on stage. Even up to recently, I've heard you on radio.
Yeah, and
different ciphers.
And even with my inconsistency, there's always been a reason behind that. You know, I went to uni, I studied, I got 2 degrees, I got 1 in fashion marketing and 1 in business and advertisement. Like, that's for me to fall back on at the end of the day, because sometimes music might not work. Do you see what I'm saying? So yeah, I love music and that, but times when I wasn't consistent, there's a lot of stuff that was going on and a lot of stuff that I had to put in place.
Yeah.
And you're a
to
mother,
handle.
right?
Yeah, and I'm a mother.
And I
as
think
well.
a lot of people don't get to see that. So obviously they don't need to get to see that because that's your private life. But
Do you know-
I mean, they don't know that. So they're thinking you're being inconsistent.
But do you know what as well, yeah? It's like, if you guys
Are you
don't
the best
know...
mother
if
MC?
you guys...
Can that be a
Do you
topic?
know what? I'll never say that I'm the best...
Are you the best mum rapper, spitter, whatever sounds better?
When you say that, what do you mean? Do you mean am I the best like mum? As in, look at him trying it basically. So I'd put down some other mothers.
That's a question. Are you the best mum?
Yeah, well, if you're talking about rapper, I told you that I think I'm the one of the best. Full stop.
You released Grime, Guts and Glory.
Yeah.
And you absolutely, I did say that the right way around, right?
Yeah, you did. You did say it. Yeah, you did.
Because you looked at me and I thought...
No, because I just wondering what she's going to ask. I'm thinking, what the hell? Like, yeah.
No, you got a lot of coverage and stuff.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, obviously that was quite a momentous release.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you got the recognition that you needed to for that?
I don't feel like I did, but at the same time, I understood that I hadn't been consistent for a little bit. And it was literally like, where I dropped things in like drips and drabs, and then I came back and dropped like that full project. I understood like it's a process, you know, and there's also, you know, you've got like the older lot that know about me, but there's a new generation coming up that have to learn about me as well. So I don't feel like it got the exposure, not even exposure, because it got a lot of exposure, like Revolt TV. I mean, I was shocked. Like I was at my manager's house, and then he come running. He was like, "You're on Revolt TV in LA," shouting and that was something. Sing. I forgot what the guy's name is, but they spoke about a tune off of Grime, Guts and Glory called "Gotta Love It." So it got the exposure, but yeah, I mean, maybe it could have done better. But like I said, it's a process.
And what was it
You
like
got the
working
hits,
with
though.
Kid
I'm
D?
checking out the hits now. You got the hits.
Yeah, I got the
On the
hit.
videos.
Are you looking at Pressure?
Yeah.
God, took 5 months to get that video back. But that's another thing.
I
Pressure's
see
got
you
the
whiling
hits.
about that. I see you going ham on Twitter about that.
Do you know what
video.
Have You Forgotten's got the hits.
Do you know what my problem was? Yeah.
Who's Have You Forgotten about?
Hold on.
Sorry,
What's
sorry.
happened is took 5 months for her to get a video back.
Sorry.
And it was she was hamming on the
Go on.
social media.
I tried not to ham for so long though. This is the thing, yeah, because I know that people have this like preconception of me. Do you know what I'm saying? And what I'm like. So I tried for so long not to go ham, because usually when someone crosses me and I react, no lay's a bully, no lay's this, no lay's that. People never look at it from the other side, basically. And I paid, you know what, £890 for a video. And I feel like if I pay that amount for a video and I tell you that, I mean, it fucked my whole campaign, not getting the video back. That's probably why Grime, Guts and Glory didn't get what it deserved as well, because we had the whole rollout for it planned, the whole campaign. And Hot New Hip Hop, they dropped the audio for Pressure. It did so well. And we was meant to drop the video like a few days later. And it just didn't happen. It was excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse. Oh, you know, the hard drive got lost. All right, I accepted that. I left that at that. And then every time when it was meant to be being sent, I checked my email and it hadn't been sent. I left it for a little while for Calum to recover his files and all that. And, you know, because he's young as well, because I mean, when he messaged me and told me that he lost the video, he was really panicking and that. And where he's young and that, I didn't really want to be ham on him and that, yeah. So I goes, you know what, calm down, it's cool. Let's just find a way to rectify this, reshoot it for me, or, you know, let's find a way around it. But then I feel like kind of what we spoke about earlier, when you're kind, it's like
Have you
people
got
take
a
the
temper
piss.
though? I mean, you're well within your right to be pissed off about that.
Yeah.
But Thankfully, me and you have always got on from
Yeah.
Channel U days, unorthodox up until now, not for the
Yeah.
radio, whatever. But have you got a bit of a temper? Because you've been in a couple of passes beforehand. So this is your...
What kind of passes though?
We've seen things online.
Which
and-
passes?
I saw a
Maybe
little while
shut-
ago. You had a bit of a fallout on Twitter with Lady Leisha about the Queen's Speech Project,
Yeah, all right.
Mad.
which is going to be really direct about what's
Okay, then I wouldn't say that it was a fallout. I'd say that in this industry, people are so fake to the point that when you speak your mind, it's a problem. Now, all I did was simply ask, where did you get the name from for that EP? Because it didn't make sense to me. I mean, I can even search it now on Twitter and I can even show you on Twitter that I was tweeting about the Queen's speech in 2014.
So you think she jacked your name?
Do you know what I'm saying? Can't wait for the Queen's speech. And that's when I had my Bella Gotti, the
Yeah.
name change. I can't wait for it's there in front of you. What does it say there? 2014.
Yeah.
Does it not say that? Like, people are tweeting me about it. You know, I was going to drop a little something I said called the Queen's speech, but I've decided to just do it as a song now. Everyone was tweeting about it, blah, 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 blah. I was working behind scenes on it. And then all of a sudden, she dropped something called the Queen's speech. Now, it could be a coincidence, but the scene is very, very... do you think it was a coincidence?
See, I can only go off what I know of her. Good character, so probably a coincidence, yeah.
But don't try to sit on the fence, though.
No,
That's
I'm
what
not. I'm not trying to. So
don't
if
try to
if
sit
I'm not
the
sitting on
fence.
the fence, and I'm keeping it 100, I think it's a coincidence.
I don't think it was a coincidence.
But you might know her more than I know her.
I don't think. I mean,
I think it's a
I know
coincidence.
Leisha from MySpace days when she used to message me. So no, I don't think it was a coincidence. And after speaking to Richie Montana, who used to manage her, you know, one time her account got hacked, and someone was tweeting me from her account saying, you know, all you ever do is rap about your dad, fuck your dead dad, and all the rest of it, like, and this and that and this and that about it. And, you know, I was like, well, she got hacked. She must have got hacked. You better have got hacked. You know, them ones there. But because obviously it's my father, innit? Anyway, I meet up with Richie Montana a few years down the line, someone that's, you know, managed her and he's worked with her for a while. And when I said to him about, you know, like she got hacked and that, he laughed. And he said, I wouldn't believe that if I was you. And how she's done it a couple times. Now, he could be chatting rubbish, but why would you say that? Really and truly, you know?
So that was a brazen statement, but we do always kind of anticipate the truth with you.
Yeah,
That's one
I
thing.
feel like it's very tough for people in this, you know, in this scene, and it'll probably be tough for both of you as well, probably because you talk to her and you're cool with her and all the rest of it. But you have brought me here to be honest,
No.
and I'm gonna be honest.
We appreciate
know?
you being honest about your
So,
feelings. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So what is the wildest thing you've ever done, Nole? Like, we've got to ask you this because, you know, you are seen as a wild card.
Or regretted? Do you regret anything?
There's nothing that I regret, to be quite honest. I don't
I think we all have regrets.
I don't.
Especially creative regrets or regrets like when we've all been
Maybe
kind of
sometimes
unprofessional.
maybe sometimes I've looked at a picture and been like, damn, why did you wear that? Or why did you? But I mean, in terms of, you know, in my music, like my span of my music career, I've turned, like, a lot of people say to me, why aren't you signed yet, man? Nolo's been in this game for time. Why aren't you signed? Because, like, I've had deals. You know, I sat in front of Guy Mook, who's one of the most respected people in EMI. Do you know what I'm saying? And he had like Salam, he was offering me like Salam Remy to work on music with me. I didn't like the deal at the time, so I said no, because I felt like I was worth more than that, you know? I've had like my Dan Stacey was having a lot of meetings with me to sign me to 679. I didn't feel like it was the place for me. Same with Polydor. So it's not where I haven't been offered a deal. I've just haven't decided to sell myself for tuppence.
And what is it? I think that's, you know, we always kind of try and highlight that, not because of the money, but just because, you know, you mentioned worth there. And how do you feel when someone, you know, because obviously when a label calls and you're a musician, it's like,
Yeah.
usually that's what people are working towards,
Yeah.
especially, you know,
Yeah,
the times you're
100%.
discussing. So you're excited, you've gone down there and then they've offered you a deal and you're just like, really?
Do you know what? The money, sometimes the money was good. I wouldn't say that it was like rubbish money. Like a lot of it was well over like your 60 bags and your 70, 80 bags and that, depending on like, which one that we're talking about. But my problem is, I mean, signing and taking the money isn't the be all and end all.
So what would you require from a deal?
If they've got a deal and they're going to tie you in it for a certain amount of time, and they're going to own this and they're going to own that. I mean, even like when we spoke about with my manager, like there was something kind of semi on the table for like Def Jam, but what they were saying, they have like a points policy and certain things, and I was like, no, I'm not doing that, man. It's too much. They want too much, and what is the point? And one thing that I'd never want is to be shelved and told that I can't release music or I can't I need to, because it keeps me alive. Like that's what keeps me going on a day-to-day basis.
You are an impulse person.
Yeah,
you can tell when things happen in your life. That's when you drop music.
I need to be able to make music. That's my therapy. Everybody's got different kinds of therapy, and I just wouldn't want to be tied up in something where I'm not going to be able to release music.
What would be your ideal scenario for a deal? So a label approached you, a good label. What would be your ideal scenario?
Well,
Peas.
I'm currently in, not just Peas, I'm currently in talk. I mean, I went to New York. I'm currently in talks at the moment with a publisher and with like 2 labels at the moment. I did want to sign stateside with a stateside label, only because I feel like with the labels here, I'm too, raw for them, like my music and that. And I don't feel like there's any point in signing to a major if they're going to change everything about you that you once was.
But do you feel like that you sign into a stateside label? Do you think that they'll understand you?
Yeah. Because I was there and I was in New York for over a month, and I was in Brooklyn, and I was around, hardcore rappers, and we was all going at it, and we went to the labels and they understood every word because we played them the tunes, and they was relaying the songs, and I just feel like out there, they don't really put this thing on you where you have to be all dolled up to spit bars.
But do you think they're ever gonna really respect the UK MCs? I mean, you got Giggs making moves out there.
Yeah.
He's done a couple of sick collaborations.
Yeah.
Obviously, everyone's anticipating a Drake collaboration.
Yeah, they
You've
have
got
to
Skepta
respect.
doing his
They
thing.
have to respect us. I don't know about anybody else, but respect is earned, not given.
True
You know
that.
what I'm saying? So, and I feel like if you earn your respect and you work hard, then you should be able to establish that. And I mean, with Drake, if you check it, like for me, a lot of the Americans and whatever else, they get a lot of their swag and a lot of their style from England anyway. They take parts from us and they go and they run with it. If you listen to Drake, when Drake raps, nobody makes it from my ends. I know my ends. That's our chat, innit? That's our slang, like my ends. And he's really, really like into, like Skepta and into our thing. Why do you think that is? Obviously everybody's gas like, oh my God, it's Drake. Drake's paying attention to us. But you need to also understand he's paying attention to you for a reason. I know that Kanye comes over here for a lot of his inspiration as well. He spends a lot of time in London as well. And I do feel like...
I don't think it is though. I think he's a fan and he's inspired by us. I don't think he's trying to jack any styles and just run with it. I think he's because we're all inspired.
Yeah.
We're all inspired by
Yeah.
different people and have different influences within whatever art form it is we choose to take on.
I feel like you can be inspired, but when it gets to a point where you're not you're taking bits from what you're inspired by, and then you're not really like bringing that inspiration to the forefront. I mean, it's all good in Kanye like bringing, Boy Better Knowing that on stage.
At the Brits.
But I'd like to see a bit more.
Yeah. Now, we could always see a bit more, but I think they're doing their bit still.
Yeah, they're doing their bit, 100%.
I'm
I'm not saying I think we could see a bit more of them, but I'd just like to see Kanye, if, you do a bit more for these artists then.
Good debate.
I feel like they take what they take and then they just piss off.
One thing that was shocking
Yeah.
was your accident, your car crash. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, we can talk about it.
So for those that don't know, just tell us what happened and what you went through and survived and came out.
I don't
the other
even
end.
kind of remember actually what I went through because I was unconscious. But
What happened? Up until
I
you
don't
was
want to say who the
unconscious.
driver was, because if I say who the driver was, it's going to start a big shitstorm.
Why is that? Because
People know who the driver was. So that's one thing. But we was in Germany. We was the story that was put out to the media, it was kind of changed a bit, and I think the reason why it was changed a bit was kind of to protect me and to protect the person that was driving as well. But we was out and we was heading somewhere, and he was drinking and he shouldn't have been drinking, basically. And next thing you know, we were going into a lamppost, and I woke up in hospital like a week later.
So what injuries did you...
I feel like the injuries as well were over dramatized in the media when I read them. But I mean, my chest plate was cracked, my pelvis was cracked, I had a crack in my vertebrae, and my nose. I mean, my nose is, I hate my nose. My nose is fractured already from something else. So I suffered like another fracture in my nose. And like I had like heavy bruising, and like my hands, that pissed me off the most because it was hard for me to write as well, basically. But I think if I had my own way, I don't think I would have put it out there. I would have preferred for people not to know, to be quite honest.
So do you think now that, because obviously, you know, the people did know and people really reached out and there was a lot of support for you? Like,
there was a lot of support, but at the same time, I feel like some people were bad minds. It like during that, because you got to understand what it was. The reason why I get upset and I don't like to talk about it, because of what it did to what I'm looking at. He's looking like, where's she looking? I'm looking up there because I get a bit like tearful about this, like when I talk about it, because I mean, my mum found out through the media, like through radio and all the rest of it. My sister, like everybody, my family, that's how they found out, and it was really hard. And I mean, I had people sending emails to my manager. I don't know why they did that. I feel like maybe because of the press that was around it. I'm not sure the kind of what they got into their mind about that, but my manager was being threatened, saying someone was messaging him, I don't want to say no names, talking about how they're going to ruin me, and about leaking nudes and doing this and doing that. And you know, people were going to my mum's house, like people was parked up outside my mum's house, like press and stuff like that. And you know, it was hard, and it was hard, you know, for my son as well. And I mean, I didn't really look on Twitter afterwards, like because for a little, I mean, even I went to Kiss 100, it was like my first freestyle after like the whole thing. And I remember going into Kiss 100 like to rap my bars, and my manager was standing across the way from me, and my eyes started going into each other, in it kind of thing, because I had to go back to hospital for like more brain scans, because I thought something was fucked like in my brain. Like I'm rapping, and I kept like fucking up. And that doesn't really, I mean, you might have a little slip, but I'm talking like really like fucking struggling to remember shit and that. And I remember looking back at like Shorty and MK and saying to them like, can I do it again please, kind of thing. And the second time around, yeah, like I gathered myself, but yeah, it was hard for a little bit.
Was it a bit, you know, because obviously, you know, you've been releasing music for years, you've been, you know, doing your press runs and whatever, and then it's like something traumatic happens to you, and then like this is almost the most amount of press you receive.
That's the thing is, it's so funny, because I was saying to my manager that I hope that you ask me about that. It absolutely disgusted me. It did disgust me. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I didn't look at all the press. Just my manager told me, like, the press, there were certain platforms that hadn't blogged about me before that he was trying to get, you know, to blog, and they had blogged about like the crash and all the rest of it. And yeah, it did disgust me. I mean, someone had also tweeted, like people were tweeting and saying, R.I.P. You know, like trolls and that, like R.I.P. And it was really, really, really pissing off my mum and upsetting my mum as well. But I said to her, you know, stay off social media. But people were tweeting, you know, R.I.P. And someone tweeted, she shall remain nameless because she ain't nobody. And I know she weren't going to go. I knew she weren't going to go anywhere with her career anyway. But she tweeted something and was like, what did she say? Someone's trying to trend because they've been hurt. I mean, how the fuck can you try to trend because you've been hurt? Did I fucking ask for it? Like, did I ask for this prick to drink, drive, and to fucking crash and write me off. How can you be trending because you've been hurt? Like, it's just so fucking stupid. But luckily enough, I've got a lot of people that are loyal in the grime scene, do you know what I'm saying? And they dragged her all over the timeline anyway, so it's kind of...
Speaking of dickheads, okay, and I'm going to start like that. Your latest release is a track called Dancing with the Devil.
Yeah.
And both aesthetically, like both the video and the track speak heavily on domestic violence.
Yeah.
I thought it was, particularly important touching on a subject like that from someone like you, who is seen as quite boisterous and strong.
Yeah.
Because I think that people's standard perception of someone who would go through domestic violence is someone who's weak and meek and hiding in a corner somewhere, and they don't understand the emotional toll that it can have on you.
I mean, the thing is, it's actually about, I'm rapping from the perspective of a girl that's already dead. So in a way, it might not have been about me. Although I have been through domestic violence, but that's not. So I don't think that makes you weaker.
So it wasn't about. You're not rapping from your own perspective.
It's not specifically about me because I'm still alive and he kills me in the in the video. And
some parts
I also after it happened, I was gone. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe not the first time, but when I saw it was like, because you get that with a lot of people that suffer domestic violence, you get that whole thing where a lot of us women, we try to save people. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like we and I am like that. Like, I'm a very caring individual. I try to help people, and we always think that we can change someone and save them and all the rest of it. So when it first happens, and then you get that, the crying or the really like, I didn't mean to do this, I'm never going to do it again, and please give me another chance and all the rest of it. You kind of, as one of those women, you're a bit stupid. You think to yourself, well, if I'm really riding for him and I'm down, like, I'll stick around and I'll try and help him to change and all the rest of it. But when I've noticed that, it's not going to change, I got the fuck out. And that's what I'm trying to teach females. Like, don't stick around. And I know it happens to 1 in 6 men in their lifetime as well. But I'm trying to just show them, with the video, I was trying to show them what happens this is what can happen to you if you stay in a relationship like that. If you stay in a relationship like that, or if you keep going back to an abusive partner. It was very graphic, but it had to be graphic because this is what happens. 2 women are murdered every week by their partner or their ex-partner. So, we can sugarcoat it as much as we want and all the rest of it, but I didn't want to sugarcoat it. I wanted people to watch it and understand.
It is a serious issue that often gets swept under the carpet. So I think it's an amazing thing that you're doing. I think your visual definitely hits home. It's got that shocking factor to open people's eyes to the situation.
I wanted it to be like, I had to get a director on board because I've never really been like hands-on with a lot of my videos. I've left it in the hands of the director, but I wrote the synopsis for this and put like the story together and everything. And I was like, this is what I want. From the vomiting to this to that. Like, I brought the props. Like, I knew, like, let's go get some chicken soup for the vomiting. I made the blood. I made the blood. Like, I brought you can make like fake blood out of cocoa powder, icing sugar, and red food flavoring. So I made the blood. I brought the rug and everything.
Was it hard for you? All jokes aside, was it hard for you, having been through that before? That you like you just said. Yeah. Was it hard for you to reenact that part in your video? Was it emotional? Was it difficult?
It was more difficult when I was recording the song more than anything. Not to reenact it. To be quite honest, because I had a mission and I wanted to put it across in a certain way, and I knew that if I started taking all that on board, it's not gonna come out the way it needs to come out.
I'm glad that in the videos. Sorry, Viz. In the video you was actually really battered and bruised and vomiting. I know that obviously as a woman, half of you wants to look pretty, and usually you get these kind of things, and it's like half makeup on fleek and half a little bit of bruising that looks like the Halloween sexy bruise. But you really went in. It was like really full throttle. That you
hold tight, Sammy, makeup artist. But yeah, she's brilliant. I saw like some of her like SFX makeup like on her Instagram and that, and I was like, do you know what? I need this girl.
Sammy.
I need this girl to do it, basically. But I wanted it to be like that because this is the thing, what goes back to the whole sugarcoating thing. Like you said, like the girl will look semi-battered. People have been murdered. Do you know what I'm saying? People have been worse than that. Like worse than how I looked. Unrecognizable. You know, people have been shot through domestic violence. Like I was reading a story not too long ago. The guy, he shot her, you know, in her face. So it can be like, for some people, you know, there was a few comments like, oh my God, you know, it's really extreme. I don't think it's that bad. Yes, it is that bad. It is that bad.
So what's the response been like for you? Because obviously, you know, I love anything that's going to empower a woman.
Yeah.
But, you know, there must be some people who have actually felt like, wow, like this is something I'm going through.
I've had a brilliant response, to be quite honest. It's been a bit sad for me because I didn't realise how much of, you know, like my actual followers and that have been going through it. You know, like my emails and my DMs and everything, they're absolutely full. You know, to the point it's hard to reply to everybody. You know, I've had so much, particularly ladies, messaging me saying, I'm going through this at the moment. I'm going through this now. You know, I've collected a bunch of videos where women get to say a little piece about what's happened, and then at the end they say like, break the silence to stop the violence, as part of like my campaign. Because at first I had a few like well-known influential figures say it, because I felt like if young men and women watch these influential figures, oh look, like there's Rag and Bone Man, there's Charlie Sloth saying it, like that, it would kind of sink in more. And then I thought to myself, I got like kind of I feel like I got very like little. I feel like the men responded more, asking for their help, to be quite honest, which was really shocking to me. Like maybe some women haven't seen their emails or whatever else, and because it was predominantly a lot of the males that were like, because it was predominantly a lot of the males that were coming forward and saying like, we need to stop this, break the silence to stop the violence. I thought to myself, what would, you know, it's about women as well. We need to get the women involved in some way. So I just contacted a lot of the ladies that had been messaging me and said to them, you know, film yourself on if you want to, of course, you don't have to. But if you feel like you need to have a release and you want to talk about it like on a bigger platform, I have that platform and I can do that for you. So just say a little piece and film it on your phone and say, obviously, at the end, break the silence to stop the violence. And I've just had loads. And like over the next few weeks, I'm just releasing bit by bit.
What was it that what helped you through that domestic violent relationship? What was it that helped you? Did someone give you guidance? Did someone give you advice?
I didn't have no guidance when it came. So
how did you?
I also kept it quiet because I know what my brothers are like. Do you know what I'm saying? So it was kind of a thing where I kind of had to keep it quiet.
Without sounding kind of obvious, like obviously if someone is violent towards you, you need to get out of that situation. But like you said, often people don't think like that during the time. But what made you realise I got to get the fuck out of here?
I think it was when he split my head. The thing is, I've got really good healing skin. I can't believe it because you can't even really see the scar. But I remember I was sitting down watching TV and he had said something to me, and then he said to me something like, shut up or something. And I must have turned back and said, no, you shut up. And the thing is, we had those old school, because it was at my dad's place at the time, and my dad used to go missing all the time, so we used to have the place to ourselves sometimes, and it was one of those big fat, you know, like the old school remotes, like the kind of metal things, and he got up and he went whack like that in my face with it, and my head just split open. After that, I thought to myself, do you know what now?
So women that are going through this now, apart from you kind of being there to raise awareness, and obviously being there to be able, like, contactable online for advice, what other things can women do at the moment to be supported in this situation out there?
There is, first of all, you're not alone. There is a 24-hour domestic violence helpline. They can advise you as well. Okay. Some of the messages I've received, you know, women have said to me that they've been attacked, like while holding their baby and stuff like that. Like women have been beaten up, like while they're pregnant. And I would say, and you get this thing from people, you know, when they're like, you know, oh, you're a snitch, you're a snitch, you're a snitch, you're a snitch, and no, if you call the police. But at the end of the day, that's for other situations. If someone's beating you up and you feel like, say, boy, I'm gonna die, what the fuck are you gonna choose between being a snitch and living? Like, come on, bruv, like, get real.
It's snitching. I think that's been a debate for some time
It's
now,
stupidness.
but in different capacities.
It's different capacities. If someone's beating your ass and you feel like, do you know what? If I don't call the police, I'm gonna die right now. Then you call them, yeah? And that's that.
Is the rest of the EP, this woman, gonna be on this kind of subject?
No, because I don't want to bore people. And I'm not saying that the domestic violence thing will bore them, but I'm saying you can't make every single song about one subject. It's going to be an array. It's going to show them more Natalie rather than, you know,
Go on,
just Nole. Because I've grown up a lot now, you know. I'm really not the Nole that people think I was, you know.
We see your sexy pictures, then.
Go on.
She comes out here, you know, do photo shooting.
No, it's not even just that. But I mean, like, even as a person, you know what I'm saying? I want to talk about other things. Like, you know, I've got my next single to come is called Pussy. And
Wow.
Wow.
Broke the internet with them.
but it's not what
Them
you
tight,
think. But the
aren't
thing is, it's not what you think. It's not what you think it's gonna be about.
What's it about?
Obviously,
So it's not about pussy.
It is about pussy, but
So
it's,
that's
it's,
what I'm saying.
the
So
thing
it is what we
as-
think
but-
it's gonna be about.
No,
It's
it's
about
not
pussy.
because I feel like people are gonna expect me to come on this kind of what's that word? Like, I'm not here to make us women like sell ourselves out and or degrade ourselves or anything like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Like, it's not about. It's not
derogatory to women.
It is.
It is.
It's not. It's not derogatory towards. I'm basically trying to let women know, yeah, that your power as a woman.
Is in your pussy.
No, don't put.
Viz,
No.
Okay,
we're
no,
gold
sorry.
diggers. You stop this.
Sorry, this energy drinks.
But that's what I'm telling them. Don't fuck for peas. All right, because you want to go there, then come on.
Yeah,
all
yeah,
right,
no, I do want to go there.
Let's go there.
Yeah.
Like,
What?
I'm-
So
I'm-
that
I'm
means you
saying
feel. That means you feel. If you've made a song about not fucking for peas, you think that there's women in this industry in our scene that
Yeah.
have been doing that over the years.
No, it's more of a thing where I'm trying to. The way I'm branding myself, and not
Yeah.
even branding
I'm not saying
myself.
they have been. I just.
Not even how I'm branding myself, because this is how people. This is from what I get from females out there in general. You know, I haven't put myself in that position. They come to me as that strong female for advice, for whatever else. You know, I get a lot of messages and all the rest of it. I'm just trying to put a message out there to women. Understand your strength as a female. Yeah? Because I don't think women actually understand how powerful they are.
Yeah, 100.
That's how I feel. Like, I feel like women, obviously men, you need men as well. You know, we complement each other greatly, but I'm saying I don't feel
But
like...
has pussy got something to do with that?
Yeah, pussy has got something to do with it. Understand how powerful you are as a woman, yeah? And don't feel like you need to be underneath men. And, you know, because, I mean, you get a lot of misogyny as well. I go through it as well.
Yeah.
I go through it in this scene. A lot. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, with males, I'm not saying no names, but, you know, like, if you don't want to link them, they're going on some craziness, do you know what I'm saying? And insulting you and all the rest of it. And I'm basically trying to say that, you know, you don't have to do, basically, like, my pussy, my choice, to cut a long story short.
That way.
With the whole rape culture and everything else, you don't have to do nothing that you don't want to do, and understand your power as a woman. We're here to be respected and loved and treated as queens. Yeah, the same way that men should be treated as kings in it, if you deserve it. I feel like as a woman, if you deserve to be treated like a queen, that you should be treated like a queen, and that's just what I'm trying to put in women, like in ladies' heads. But it is
Good,
a fun,
good,
it is a
good.
fun, it is a fun tune. It is a fun tune at the same time.
What was I going to say now? So, have you had industry relationships? Because you touched on a few things there. within that speech, within that speech, that has led me to believe that you've had industry relationships? And is it difficult having industry relationships?
I haven't had industry relationships with
What about relations?
Like, it depends. Actually, but you know what? It depends.
Have
what
you been
cast.
out with? Have you dated? No, you're my sister. Yeah. Have you dated? I want to word it right because I don't want people to chat shit. Do you get what I'm saying? So, have you dated anyone in the industry?
Yes, I have.
And how did you find that?
I find it to be that when you date someone in the industry, at first they're kind of not super gas. That's the wrong way to. I feel like if you date someone from the same field as you, it becomes a problem, especially if you rap the way I do. It does. It does become.
Is that what you're saying?
It does become.
So you dated another MC, and because you're harder than them, it became a problem.
Wow.
No, do you know why? Because obviously, you get these scenarios where actors might date each other, and then one becomes more successful than the other. But fucking hell,
I just feel like with me, I'm a.
Hold on, no, I need you to say yes or no.
It's
because
important.
no one knows who we're talking about, and I'm not disrespecting the MC.
Yeah.
I can't spit, so whatever. You were a harder spitter than your boyfriend, and it caused problems.
I don't feel like I was. I don't feel like I was though.
But
He felt like that.
That's mad.
He
Lord
felt
of the
like
Mics thing. Should have clashed. That's crazy.
Like
Wow.
instead of arguing, we used to clash. No, I'm joking, but
Yeah.
No, I'm joking. But I mean, it also depends what
Was
you
you ever
call,
on a track together?
It depends what you call relationships as well. No,
You never went on it.
it depends what you call. It depends what you call relationships.
Are you
as
sure
well.
you got that right? I find that hard to believe
What?
that there's a rapper out there, that broke up with you, or things didn't go to
Who
plan.
said he broke up with me?
Or you broke up. You broke up
Boy,
because
That's
you had harder bars than him.
I just think it's not even just that. It's a lot of, I'm quite an assertive female. And I feel like the same way that back to what I was saying earlier, when a woman gets into a relationship with a guy and sometimes she feels like she can save them or change them. I kind of think that sometimes they see me as like this female, and it's like, oh, she's so they're quite...
Like we want you to play small.
No, not even that. They're quite turned on by how I am as a female. Like, my manager will tell you that. My DMs prove that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Who's in your DMs? No, Leigh, I want to know who's in your DMs.
That's for a conversation off of the camera. I will tell you probably.
How many MCs are in your DMs currently in the last week or so? Wow, you can't even count. This is mad.
About 5.
I'll be honest though, I'm sure you guys broke up for different reasons and not
specifically just because of that, but also
But that played a
like
part.
I was saying, it's like I feel like, and this is in relationships in general. Have you ever got into a relationship with someone and they try to start changing things about you, and it's like the stuff that you liked about me in the first place, as to why we got involved with each other, why you was even drawn to me, now you want to change all these things about me. And
so these guys get with you, and then as a rapper, they want you to be a singer in the end.
no, it's not that. It's just. I mean, sometimes it's not just. I can't blame it like on just the guy. Do you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's with me. I am very like. I like to be able to do what I'm doing when I want to do what I'm doing, and that's it. Like, I love my music more than anything else.
No, I'm ramping anyway. Noisy, the Noisy list.
Yeah.
Greatest MCs of all time. Now, this is something, big up everyone at Noisy. This is something I've taken on a couple years at MTV, top 10 MCs of the year, and it's always just caused madness. You remember Getz, who's on the panel and shit like that. How do you feel about Noisy's latest list? I think you was, 25?
Yeah.
You was 25.
I think like Stormzy was 24.
How
I
many
was
MCs
25.
were there involved?
30.
30, okay.
Yeah.
So you're near the top.
Yeah.
But at least you're on the list. That's the first thing. Because this list is the greatest UK MCs of all time. It's not 2016. It's
of all time. So I mean,
so from before you was even born. You get me? It's mad.
I felt like honoured to be on be on the list. To be quite honest, I didn't look at it and I wasn't like, oh my god, look at the number. Like, come on, man. Like, you're on the list.
Say no more.
To be quite honest, and I mean, I'm not sure. I think female-wise, the only ladies that were on the list was myself Lady Dynamite and MIA, I think.
Okay. See? Hold on. Rewind to the early stages of the interview.
Yeah.
You said you hate when people refer to women, female MCs.
But it's all right when I do it.
Okay, say no more. Different rules. But do you see what I mean, though? Do you see what I mean? Where there's some circumstances where some people might say, are you the best female in that space or whatever?
But I don't think it's that. It's only that.
I feel like because there's quite a few now. So I feel like out of the ones, even some that have been more consistent than me, I expected them to see them there.
Say nothing.
Obviously, you know what it's like. We won't judge the panels anyway. Remember when we did the GRM top 10 hottest male panel, and
Posty
it went
set
off.
us up, man.
It went off.
Was I number one?
You weren't even on the list, bro.
I didn't even know.
It was MCs though.
Oh, true that. Okay.
You said that's the only reason why.
See? You got my back. Shams ain't got my back.
I got your back. You know I got your back.
All good. Ramping.
But who would be your flavour of the month if you had to choose one of the MCs though? I know you got to ask this, and I know it's.
What do you mean, like as in?
Who would you like to be up in your DMs?
Oh my God, I don't know.
You don't know?
That was so fake. How fake that was.
What do you mean, like
who the realist out? Like we want to.
What do you mean, like who?
Don't act like you don't understand the question.
What do you mean, like who do I perv on? Who do I think out there is nice? Oh my God.
Apart from me, it's cool.
Are you hitting on that? Like, hold on a minute. What are you doing?
Who do I think is handsome out there? I mean, me and my manager had a conversation the other day about Fredo. Not that I look at him like that, but I was like, I think Fredo can bust, like, because Fredo, I think he's a handsome boy.
You've got to stop calling him that.
Yeah.
Fredo?
Fredo.
Yeah.
So, but it's got the frog. His you know, like the logo that he uses. It's the little frog, isn't it? You know the little frog from the chocolate.
Fredo chocolate.
So what do you call it?
Fredo. His name is Fredo, isn't it? Have I got it wrong? Maybe I've got it wrong.
I thought it was Fredo.
The only reason I said Fredo is because I used to box all them chocolates, and you know when I see his logo and that, it's got the like the Fredo.
You said so. Fredo can bust. Is what you said. That was your words.
Yeah, he's a handsome boy.
Okay.
He is.
Okay.
All right.
We hit that list.
Say no more. Nole.
What else have you got coming up, Nole?
Yeah.
And you're saying all this stuff about stateside, but obviously we're not for the radio. We are UK based. We want to know what's coming up for us in the UK.
There's a lot of stuff coming out for you guys in the UK. I'm in the process right now with my lawyers and that on actually signing something. So, I mean, first of all, it'll be This Woman that will come out. And then obviously once I'm signed, then that's when everything else will come out, because obviously we're in talks about a lot of things and there's certain things going on. I mean, I've got a documentary that I'm working on with the BBC at the moment because I've been getting into TV a bit more.
What?
So yeah, I'm working on a documentary with the BBC, something that's situated around females. I can't say too much about that, but yeah, it is situated. I can hear him getting ready to say, but earlier, didn't you say da? But they've actually asked me, to be part of it, and it's for a really, 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 really good cause. So I'm gonna do it, and I'm honoured at the fact that they've actually let me come on board more with the creative side of things, rather than just saying we want you to do the X, Y, and Z. They're actually allowing me to get involved in the Can I ask something?
Nah, no way. All right, cool. Not for the radio. No way.
Where's Posty? Posty?
Okay, Posty's in LA at the moment.
It's Valentine's Day, innit?
What in where? In
It's in LA. It's Valentine's Day.
And that's why he's in LA.
Yeah, hold on. It's Valentine's Day. Do you lot have any dates? Like, what's going on?
You two are my dates today, man.
Two, Oh my God.
I'm not sure about that. And
Whoa.
No.
Parring.
I'm gonna have to, respectfully
day.
decline.
I don't have a
Okay, so I'm gonna leave you lot at the table. Can we get some candles?
All right, cool. Nole, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
I think you're one of the best female MCs of all time.
One of the best
I'm
female.
joking. I think you're one of the great UK MCs.
Yeah. I know
No
you
doubt.
think that anyway. I've got old school radio interviews
Come
with
on,
us, yeah.
come on.
Don't make me bring them out and play them.
Nah, that's all good. That's all good. The journey continues. Keep inspiring.
Yeah.
Keep creating and keep achieving, yeah?
Thank you.
Blessed. Not for the radio. Subscribe now.